Okay, let's see what's going on here. It says, if possible, use the law of detachment to make a conclusion. Law of detachment says this. I'm going to just write this down, okay? First, you know something like this. If we're able to use the law of detachment correctly, then it will look like this. First, we know that P implies Q. That's just some conditional statement that they gave us. And then we found out that P is true. The hypothesis of that conditional is true, and therefore we know that the conclusion is true. Okay, that's how it works. I'm going to erase that, just wanted to put that out there. So let's see. Okay, if a rectangle has side lengths 3 centimeters and 4 centimeters, then it has an area of 12 centimeters squared. Okay, and rectangle ABC has an area of 12 centimeters squared. It would seem like you would want to say, oh, well then the rectangle has sides 3 and 4. But first, I'm going to give you a counterexample, then I'm going to tell you what is flawed with the thinking. Couldn't a rectangle with side lengths of 2 centimeters and 6 centimeters also have an area of 12? 2 times 6 is also 12, just like 3 times 4 is. Okay? So, just because a rectangle has an area of 12 centimeters squared does not mean that the side lengths were 3 centimeters and 4 centimeters. Here's the thinking. Here's the flawed thinking here. We know that P implies Q, right? That's a conditional statement. So here, this part is P, and change the color. This part is Q, okay? So P implies Q, right? Now, what did they tell us? Well, they didn't tell us P. Remember, we need to be told that this is true, and that automatically flows in this direction, okay? But they told us that Q is true. And notice that it doesn't flow the other way. The arrow points only in one direction, okay? So it's not possible to make a conclusion from this because we need to have, in addition to the conditional statement, we need to have the statement of fact reflect the fact that the hypothesis, the P, is true. And that's not what happened. They told us that the Q is true. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't flow in the other direction. It doesn't flow from Q to P, so we can't make a statement about that. Okay? So what we would say here, how would I write it? Not possible to make a conclusion. All right? Now, same thinking. Let's do it again. Okay? We have P implies Q. And we need P must be true. So let's see, where's P? An angle is obtuse. Okay, that's the hypothesis. What's the conclusion? It is not acute. Okay, now, if an angle is obtuse, then it is not acute. We only know about situations where the angle is obtuse. They tell us that it is not obtuse. Okay, do we know that P is true? Well, if we don't know that P is true, then all bets are off. We need, in addition to a conditional statement like P implies Q, we need to have the fact that P is true. We gotta have that. Then we can go somewhere with it. Okay, but we don't know that P is true. In fact, they say that that angle is not obtuse. So therefore, we got nothing to go on here. Okay, we can say, let's get this out of the way. We can say, not possible to make a conclusion. And again, the only way that you can use the law of detachment is that if you have a conditional statement, an if-then statement, a P implies Q statement, okay, and then you know that the P, the hypothesis, is true, and we don't know that this one is true. So we can't apply the law of detachment in this case. So we're done. Neither of these we can